What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
James Shu, how are you, good sir?
.com, and we're here for two movies today.
Yes, two completely different movies by the looks of it.
100%.
We have Straight Outta Compton and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Straight Outta Compton.
Let's do it. Straight Outta Compton. James, me and you've been sitting here 3 years. We've talked about friends, families, girlfriends. We've talked about pretty much everything there is possible. I don't think we've discussed rap music. What do you feel about rap music? Do you listen to it? Are you a fan of N.W.A? Kind of let's get into that dialogue.
You know, here's the truth. There's no reason to front in front of anybody. I can't tell you any songs by N.W.A. The F the Police one, I've heard that.
Yes.
So I know I sound nerdy. Honestly, my first encounters with rap, honestly, was like probably like Eminem.
I had to
like that.
Yeah.
Like Eminem, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm not, to be honest with you. And then, to be honest with you, even Dr. Dre, I'm not really familiar with it until Eminem.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I knew he produced his work. I knew that, and then yeah. Yourself, sir?
You know, well, I grew up listening to a lot of different music. Rap was not something I did grow up listening to. Motown, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, things like that. But the first time
DJ Mystic, Popcorn.
I heard rap. I mean, I think the first time I heard N.W.A. was F the Police, and I don't think at that age I appreciated it because of what these men were saying. I was just like, I've never heard someone talk like this on in music. You know, everything was, you know, love, wine, Italian faith. Yeah. You know, everything was pop hits, you know, back at that when I heard this album. And so I got into rap at that point, and you know, now as I've gotten older, I found a real appreciation for classic rap, you know, Run DMC, Public Enemy, things like that. I'm not a huge N.W.A. fan, but I do have Straight Outta Compton on my iPod. It is one of the most influential albums in rap, let alone music. I mean, the first three tracks, we have Straight Outta Compton, F the Police, and Gangsta Gangsta, and I mean, those all three are knockout hits. I mean, great music. So I will say though, I'm not a huge N.W.A. fan. This wasn't a movie that I was like, needs to be made, but when I heard about it, I was really excited, especially because of the cast. And I think this movie is going to be talking a lot about what's going on right now, and I think that's why I'm most excited about this picture. I remember really getting excited once John Singleton signed on to the project, who directed Boys in the Hood, a movie that Ice Cube was actually in. A great American movie, but he ended up dropping out, and F. Gary Gray ended up taking his place, who directed Friday, which was written, created, and acted by Ice Cube. So Ice Cube had a lot of influence in this movie. At CinemaCon, I had the opportunity to hear, well, I didn't really meet them, but see Dr. Dre and Ice Cube talk about this movie, and that was really insightful too. So I'm really excited for this picture.
Cool. I've heard a lot of good things about it. The only thing negative I've heard about the film, it's very self-serving, because Dr. Dre and Ice Cube are on the producers list, and they are both very active in the community. Specifically, Dr. Dre almost became a billionaire with the selling of Beats to Apple. So, and it makes sense that we're not going to see really anything bad on them. Yeah. And it's just gonna be very self-serving, but I'm very excited about the movie.
I mean, the fact that Ice Cube has his own son playing this role, I think is really exciting.
And looks like him too.
Looks exactly like him. O'Shea Jackson Jr. And then, you know, I'm not familiar with the other actors who are gonna be playing the other members of N.W.A. But I do know Paul Giamatti's in this. And it's very rare I ever watch something with Paul Giamatti and not enjoy him in it. So I'm also really looking forward to that.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
He was best part.
What happened in that movie? Anyway. How long's the movie? It's a longer.
It's a longer movie. It's 2.5 hours.
All right. Well, let's see if it's a full-on doc, and let's see how it is.
Let's do it.
All right. So we just got Straight Outta Compton, and yeah, it was really good. I can see why the Rotten Tomatoes score is up as high as it is. If you know nothing about rap, as I know nothing about rap, I think you're gonna get a really good appreciation for it. I guess we'll start down the line. So the movie is good. God, they make Suge Knight look horrible. But everyone says that Suge Knight is a really bad guy. And then just like recently, as
soon as you've seen him introduce the movie, all you hear is, ugh, Suge Knight. You just heard those groans come out of the theater.
Yeah, it's bad.
He has a very bad reputation.
Yeah,
well, I mean, there is video of him online running over someone, so.
Yeah, and that just happened.
Happened.
And it's kind of funny because like this guy just can't stay out of jail in real life. Anyway, that's besides the point. The movie was good. Big props to N.W.A. you know, it's the how I mean, there's still racism in
Yes.
2015, but even back then, obviously, it was a lot worse. And seeing how they were treated and things like that, I'm just gonna take it for what I saw, and I believe it was. I believe it. I really do believe that. Ice Cube was awesome. I didn't know that they had this riff. I didn't know that they were. I knew they were friends, and I didn't know that they had this parting, and then all that stuff. Seeing Tupac Shakur was pretty cool in the movie. That guy looked like him too.
A lot of cameos in there,
Yeah.
and it's especially if you really are into rap. I mean, there's a lot of people that you'll just hear quick small names, and you're like, oh my god, that's this and this.
Yeah,
it's really
Jimmy
really
Iovine,
serving. Yeah,
familiar with the name, producer dude. You know, I really don't have anything really to say. All the actors, no one annoyed me. That was good. I didn't even know Eazy-E had HIV.
yeah.
Didn't know that. You know, honestly, I don't really have too much to say, other than watch it. This is a good watch. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with it. I liked it.
Well,
I had fun.
I'm sure once I get into some conversations,
Yeah.
you'll feel some things. The first thing I want to talk about is, you know, the really, really great thing here to watch is actually the performances. I mean, the O'Shea Jackson Jr. really embodies his father here, and you could tell he really cared about this role and really wanted to bring something to it. The gentleman who played Eazy-E and Dre, I mean, everyone was really, really good, and I was really surprised by how great the performance was. Paul Giamatti also good.
Yeah, because no one's popular.
Yeah, no one's really
awesome.
has a name.
That's
Yeah,
good. All good.
Except obviously Giamatti. But I mean, this movie immediately puts you into it, and you already feel for the characters. I mean, they're really people that you really kind of want to even though we already know their paths, we're still really interested in seeing where they're going to go. And I mean, those few beginning moments when we hear the beginning of beats of songs, and we hear, you know, Eazy-E, put on the headphones and sing and go to the mic for the first time. I mean, it's things like that that are really like, oh my God, like lo and behold, you know, 25, 30 years later, this would be one of the most iconic albums they'd ever make. I mean, Straight Outta Compton was their debut album, and they literally just broke barriers with that. I mean, I remember watching, you know, VH1 used to have all those listicles shows and whatever, but I remember hearing a lot of different people say, you know, this was a different kind of rap. I mean, we were leaving the Run DMC, shoelaces and Adidas, big gold chains era, and going to a place where rappers and people in N.W.A refer to themselves as, you know, by using the N-word and you cursing and saying things like F the police. I mean, you know, you fast forward and see how many other rappers ended up confronting the police through their music as well. And it's pretty crazy, especially because of when Ice Cube ended up singing that song and how big of a time that was. And, you know, great movies, I was always told that great movies say something about the time that they take place in, and something they say about what's going on now. And this movie literally says volumes about what's going on right now. I mean, it is pretty crazy. Like you said, 2015, 20, 30 years later, you know, there is still a separation between police and people. And, you know, regardless if you think that's right or which side you want to, if you want to pick a side, if you think that's right, it is here. It is real. It is something that is happening. And I think one of the most breathtaking moments I've seen this year comes from one of the big riot scenes, and it's when we have a Blood and a Crip who tie their bandanas together and walk towards the police during a riot. And your first thought is, you know, these people are gangsters and all this stuff, but I don't think that's kind of the message they were going for. They were talking that, you know, no matter who you are, enemy or friend, we all need to kind of stick together to fight this force. And I'm not saying the police are in the, I mean, obviously this movie has a very specific, you know,
answer.
Yeah, a perspective on police, but you know, you can't. I mean, it's in the history books. You could go back and look at all these things, and you know, these men found a way to address that. And I find it also interesting in this movie that they bring up the argument that actually it was a cop that says rap isn't art, and these are the men that really could absolutely show you that rap is art. I mean, they were calling it, you know, I'm just showing them where they came from, who they are. And rap has changed, obviously. Rap's not necessarily the exact same, though you could find rappers who, you know, I don't want to really get into all that, but these guys were definitely the pioneers of that. And they really speak volumes of that. And so the message and the theme of this movie is what really kind of struck home for me. As far as criticisms, I think Mr. Gray really got into the party sequences and a few of these, kind of fun time sequences that were enjoyable. But when you're clocking at 2.5 hours, I think you're kind of stretching it. And I think we could have cut about 20, 30 minutes out and made this a solid, tight film, 2 hours. But everything was enjoyable. I mean, it was funny. I found myself laughing a lot. There were some really intense moments. The whole eazy-e sequence when he finds out he has HIV is really, really powerful because Eazy-E was not only, one of the first, actually the first rapper, I believe, in the White House. A lot of people don't remember that. But
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's always, and would go on to be a person who kind of really spoke out about AIDS, and at the end you kind of hear that letter. So it's really, really powerful stuff all around it, and you kind of look and you're like amazed to see what Eazy-E did and what Ice Cube and Dre are continuing to do. So it's pretty amazing to see where they all go. I definitely understand the criticism of it being very self-serving, because even Dre going to Death Row Records, teaming up with Suge, I mean, all that's just kind of like, oh well, yeah, Suge was a bastard, but Dr. Dre was very on the good side of everything, and I'm sure he, obviously Dre did leave and just ended up doing Aftermath and going on to do beats, but there was obviously wrong on all ends here. Ice Cube, I mean, in the same sense, Ice Cube, they show Ice Cube doing some pretty wrong things at an office, which is really, really like, oh my God, very taken aback, because people nowadays know Ice Cube from Ride Along and Friday and being more of the goofy, funny guy from 22 Jump Street. They don't really remember that hardcore rapper that he, was once upon a time had a message.
He's hilarious.
He is hilarious. He's very funny. He's actually a really, really great actor, a great writer. And I don't think he gets enough credit sometimes. But this is a really great movie to kind of see where rap, the real foundation rap. I mean, if you're a person who loves rap, this is a movie to see. If you're someone who likes great performances and a great theme about, what's going on right now, it's a great movie. I was really, really happy with it. Definitely one of the year's best.
Yeah, fun movie.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun too. I thought this movie was gonna be definitely more on the drama, dreary side, but it's not. I mean, there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of fun, but there is a lot of ups and downs. And you go through that with these characters, which make it really exciting.
Yeah, not a movie I'm gonna be able to. I don't see myself watching it again in the theater. But
in the theater, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see myself doing that, but I recommend watch it. Good
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
ChasingCinema.com/
Straight Outta Compton.
That way you can get the full-on review written by
myself,
Jacob Barr.
Toronto.
By the way, FYI, little something. If you haven't seen our review for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Superman himself, Mr. Henry Cavill, it's already online. Just click on videos and
check it out.
You're already good to go.
You click right here.
And it's already good to go. Hope you had that annotation.
I do, of course.
Holla back. All right, and also next week, 7 days.
American Ultra. Jesse Eisenberg,
Lex
and
Luthor
Kristen
himself.
Stewart.
Twilight herself.
Yes. She was on Jimmy Fallon, The Tonight Show, and Jimmy asked her, he goes, you get criticized a lot for not smiling. And that was a really, really great, funny thing about her not smiling. She says she smiles a lot in this movie. So, I mean, I think this idea is pretty funny. Basically you have a Bourne movie, the Bourne Identity with a stoner. A stoner who works at 7-Eleven, opposed to Matt Damon, who's just, all ready for it. So I'm excited to kind of see where that movie goes. Hopefully it's good.
What's the other movie other than American Ultra?
There's Hitman 47.
That's what I'll be watching.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I believe Sinister 2.
Yeah, I'll be watching Hitman 47.
Okay, well, we'll have to see. Hitman, a reboot, I guess you could kind of say.
No Jason.
No.
Well, already not gonna be as good.
Was it Jason?
Statham.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. That's
Timothy.
I did it again.
Timothy Oliphant.
Yes, thank you.
Played,
Jesus, the original. Yeah.
I was talking to
Hitman
somebody about Hitman,
the video game,
and I couldn't remember. I was like, wait, was there another Hitman movie? And I could not remember.
There was. Yeah.
There was, and it was Timothy Oliphant, but I could, life of me, not remember a thing about it. So, I don't know. I think I might be reviewing American Ultra, but I'll be interested to hear what you have to say.
I'm sure you watch both.
Well, it depends if Hitman 47 wants to invite me to their movie.
Oh, God, not a good sign already.
Yeah, so we'll see.
All right, we'll be back, guys. 7 days. Appreciate everybody. And ChasingCinema.com for anyone that does not know.
Is the Film Lovers website.
By the way.